Hi everybody, welcome to episode 35 of Satellite 664. I'm one of your co-hosts, Kaz Tagan, and as always I'm joined by Mr. Paul Lindop.
G'day.
G'day, mate. And a gentleman that I'm really looking forward to catching up with in a few weeks' time in person. In fact, I'll be standing where he's sitting from the beautiful town Copenhagen, Mr. Rasmus Stansborg. How are you, mate? And joining us for the first time is a gentleman who I've spoken with on the forum, on the IMFC forum. From welcome him, the youngest member, the youngest person to ever appear on this podcast, from the beautiful country of Ireland, Mr. Rory McGuckin.
Hey, I'm not sure. Is Joe Lazarus maybe the youngest person who's ever been on the podcast?
Ooh.
He might beat me to it.
Joe's 30. He was born in 88.
Oh, he's older than me.
So,
Get it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I hold that back. Joe's up.
He was six months old when he was at Donington, 88.
That's right.
Ah.
So he's 35 this year. So.
That's right. So
he's just a year older than you, Rory.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. And he's probably a much better musician than I am as well.
So you sir are the youngest person ever to appear on this show, and I think it's fitting because I suppose at this stage Maiden have a multi-generational fan base, and I think this show needs someone younger than us, not just a bunch of old guys.
I'll raise a glass at that one then, yeah. The local brew.
And you're flying the flag for the lovely country of Ireland as well. We're wearing your Irish Sanjutsu shirt. So
yeah, so I think Rasmus, you recently picked up the Danish version of this, right?
Yep.
Not too many of these are around the place, but I was lucky to get this from a local record store. Not sure how many of them were made, but yeah, it's
not many.
Sure. No.
That's good.
So what countries have been made? I know I've got the Australia one. We've got Ireland. There's Denmark, Germany, France. What else?
Italy, Spain, Mexico,
Norway.
Norway, yeah.
How rare are these other versions to get?
Ask Rasmus, he's probably got them all.
No, not at all. I don't collect shirts. Where's Matthew when we need him?
No, Matthew.
But they're really rare.
No, Matthew draws the line at 1993. Remember, nothing after that. So.
He does, yeah.
If I can find an Australian Sanjutsu, I'll bring it over with me. In a few weeks' time, you can have it as a.
It would probably have any killing a kangaroo on it anyway, So.
No, it's actually quite colourful. It's like either yellow and gold and green sort of colours around him, so it's actually quite nice. So we usually have set topics when we get together, and we sit there and talk about all the stuff we're going to cover. And tonight we just thought we'd come on and just chat really. And with the tour about to kick off in exactly 4 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly 4 weeks today.
Who's going to be there?
Yes.
No,
I'm not.
What?
No, I can't do it.
I won't be at.
Which could, but I can't.
No, I'll be at the second, third, 4th, and 5th shows. So, but not the first one.
No, you'll be in mid-air.
When they're playing on the 28th. No, I think I would have just landed in Prague and very jet lagged. So I think I'll be.
Let's hope they play Alexander the Great at the first night and it don't work, so they have to cancel for the rest of it.
Well, that's a really good segue, actually, Erasmus. That's a very good segue into what we're going to talk about. I think with the tour 4 weeks away, we're actually going to talk about a lot of this stuff like the set lists and stage show and things that we have spoken amongst ourselves on the forum. So, I mean, look, it is the elephant in the room. Rasmus, you've introduced it. Alexander the Great. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Got to.
Right.
Got to. I
Justify
think it's.
yourselves, gentlemen.
I'm going for it. Wasn't played in '86 when it should have been. I don't know. I think I've read along the line somewhere that Steve said that they rehearsed it and they just couldn't get it right. I don't know. But I personally think it's the final opportunity for them to play it.
Absolutely.
Because of the tour and what the tour is. Yeah. So to me, I think they will play it. I think they'll go for it. Yeah. I don't think it will be like Rasmus just said, a bit like learning this long distance runner in '86 when they played it first show and then dropped it because they said it sort of didn't run properly in the set or something.
No, it just didn't sound good. I mean, it's a very
well, I thought it did. I've listened to the recording on YouTube. To me, it sounds okay. Yeah.
I've got the bootleg. I just thought it was a bit. I don't know. I just don't think it personally. Anyway, I don't think it translated live. It was just a real, real shuffle.
I actually think they'll play that as well. I think they'll play that.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh,
But I think
really?
it's really interesting as well. If you look at where the Somewhere in Time, Somewhere on Tour started was Belgrade, Serbia. And they're going back to pretty much almost the exact same area to start this tour. Belgrade would have been part of Yugoslavia back then. Slovenia would have been part of Yugoslavia back then. So,
Correct.
30 many years later, they're going back, and I think they're going to have a second chance at doing this. That's why I think Steve has suggested they might play Loneliness of a long distance runner. So that's a good hint. And I think with Alexander the Great as well, I just think there have been so many hints over the years when they play in Greece and so on that Bruce maybe sings a bit of the verse or the chorus. I know, Kaz, you were in Athens last summer.
Yes.
And I started singing the song, and Bruce said, we're going to play that one someday. And as usual, I said, of course, Bruce says a lot of things. But then a couple of weeks later, Future Past comes along. And I say, okay, maybe there's something in this.
I was at Philadelphia in the US in 2019, and there was a guy sort of front row with a Greek flag, and Bruce even then teased that night, and he said, one day we will play this. So he said it, and he said it over and over and over and over again in different settings. So I agree with you, Paul. I think it's now or never. I think it is such a cult song. It's a song with a real cult following. This is it. They've only got to play it now. The only thing that raises a little bit of doubt in my mind is Athens isn't on the dates. So does that mean anything? Can we read anything into that?
No, I don't think so. No.
I mean, I think, Rory, as you remember, 9 months ago, the show in Greece was a bit controversial as well. So they weren't going to go back to Athens in a hurry. So I suppose you can't really read too much into the fact that they're not playing Athens, but it would be a real shame and a disappointment for the Greek fans to not have that song played on their home soil.
We don't know how the tour is going to end, so they might come back to Europe and tour this setlist. So anything can happen.
You never know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Especially with the dates that have just been added. I think the Canadian dates have been added as a warm up to this Power Trip Festival, haven't they?
Yes, correct.
So I can't see any more dates this year, even though they said the European ones were going to be the only ones. I can't see any more dates being added for North America this year. I think that North America, South America, Japan, might even be Australia next year.
Yeah.
To me, it's I don't see any more European dates next year either. So, yeah.
I think 2024 will be...
Unless they do what they did with Made in England. Do it over 3 years. Do you know what I mean?
Possibly. I think...
Drag out a tour, especially if they're still going with the Sanjutsu theme, to drag that out like we've already had last year. I don't know. I think they're going to want to that one up and move onwards. But I don't know.
But this year's been touted as Steve saying we're going to play more deeper cuts. So I'm assuming that they're not going to play any of the 3 songs that they played last year.
Yes. Okay, so we'll come back to Sanjutsu in a minute. Actually, I want to focus on that, but let's just stick with Somewhere in Time because I think that discussion's still got some legs. So
Yeah.
all four of us agree that, or we think amongst ourselves that Alexander the Great will be played. So supposedly Somewhere in Time is going to have 5 songs. Do we think they're going to take the easy way out and play 2 of those as songs that are already familiar? Heaven Can Wait and Wasted Years.
I've got my 5 I predicted are Caught Somewhere in Time, Stranger in a Strange Land,
Yep,
Loneliness and Long Distance Runner,
wow,
Heaven Can Wait, and Alexander the Great.
Okay.
I think that's my personal prediction because I think that Wasted Years has been played on a lot of the history tours and recent tours anyway.
Yeah.
So, not being controversial, but it's overplayed. Do you know what I mean? It deserves not to be played. I'm being selfish. I'd rather hear Loneliness than Wasted Years. I've heard Wasted Years live loads of times. But as I said, me being selfish. Seeing Madness might pop up. Don't know. Deja Vu, I just don't think that will be played. So that was my 5.
Yeah, Rasmus, what do you think will be played out of Somewhere in Time?
I think I'm like Paul, but I'm not sure about the Loneliness. It's but hey, what do I know? But I'm pretty sure they will start with the Count Somewhere in Time.
So Blade Runner launch into Caught Somewhere in Time.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah.
So Rasmus,
makes sense.
What out of Paul's set list? What would you take if you take Loneliness out? What would you put in?
I don't know.
It's a hard one. It's a really
it is. And will they do the Heaven Can Wait stuff again with the fans on stage and all that stuff? I know it was a problem, right?
Yeah.
So
no.
But Stranger, I totally agree. They have to play that.
100%.
That hasn't been played since '99, is it? Stranger. It was the last time we played that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a story that this was Adrian's father's favourite Maiden song? When Adrian's father died, he didn't feel comfortable playing the song, or he didn't want to approach the song.
I know that he didn't his father pass away on that tour. He had on the tour and he had to fly back.
Correct.
And they played the gigs with just the 2 guitarists, and then when he came back, they didn't play it. Was that right?
Correct. Yeah.
But it was like with Nico, he said he would never play a Maiden gig without playing Halo People, and of course it happened. So yeah.
Is that
99 is a long time ago, so
that's because Nico's a practicing Christian, isn't it? And it's a song that means a lot to him. Is that the main reason why?
No, I just think he said it's his favourite song. It's one of them ones, it's Nico, isn't it? Oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and then they do the set list and they ain't in there, but he still does it. So yeah. So
Raz, you're going to go with pretty much Paul's list without Loneliness, but we don't really know what we're going to add in, replace it with. It's hard. It's
if the rumor is true and we get 5 from Somewhere in Time, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know whether we're going to get 5 though. That's the thing, isn't it? It was just what was on the poster, wasn't it?
And maybe that was the plan, but we know they will rehearse it, and if it doesn't work, they just got to change it, right? So
yeah, they did that with Infinite Dreams, didn't they? On Made in England, they rehearsed it and it didn't get played. Yeah.
Rory, your set list, mate?
Yeah, so I'm going to disagree with Paul. I would think it's
a surprise.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Paul, we have that experience there, history. But I think it would be very unlikely that they won't play Wasted Years. When I tried to do a set list, as in start to finish, and I really had Wasted Years as the closer for the whole show. I just think it'll be the last song of the evening. It's a song that everyone enjoys. The band kind of didn't play it for a long time, brought it back in. I just think it's the perfect song to close with, and if you're doing a Somewhere in Time theme, you have to have Wasted Years there. I don't think that playing Heaven Can Wait. I think it's probably for me the weakest song on the album, and maybe the justification for playing in 2008, on the Somewhere Back in Time tour, was that you can have this participation element. If they're not going to do that anymore, I don't think they're going to play the song. Stranger in a Strange Land, I think, is the most definite song they're going to play from the album because it was featured in the advertisement for the tour. That pretty much confirms that it's going to be used. Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, I think the fact that Steve mentioned this song is positive in terms of its likeliness for being played. I also think, like, based on what I said about the geography of it, that they're going back to almost where the original tour started. And it's almost like if they wanted to include that song in the tour back in '86, it's like unfinished business. It didn't work out back then, but, 37 years later, 36 years later, I can't count, 37 years. They're going back, and I think 37 years later, they'll be able to get the song right in a way that's going to work in the set list. And I think Alexander the Great is for sure going to happen. Just the big question is not if it's going to happen, but what part of the show is it going to happen in? Some would say the opener, when the lights go down and the intro tape comes on. Some would say in the middle of the set, or maybe in the encore, when Iron Maiden finishes, the lights go down, and then you hear My Son, Ask For Thyself Another Kingdom.
Good thoughts.
Yeah.
Some good thoughts there.
That is, yeah. I've got it sort of middle of the set. Yeah.
So,
but you could be right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, some
So
really good thoughts.
It would be good to actually do it that way. Yeah.
I actually think Alexander the Great would probably be maybe mid-set, similar to For the Greater Good of God. Because it is a more, starts very sort of low tempo and builds up, similar to that song. I think that's where it might hit. Look, I agree. Blade Runner theme, Caught Somewhere in Time, Stranger in a Strange Land, Alexander the Great. They're the 4 guarantees, or almost guarantees. To be honest, before we started chatting tonight, I hadn't given much thought to Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. Part of me thinks, will they take the easy way out and just put Wasted Years and Heaven Can Wait on anyway? And Heaven Can Wait can just be done with a crew, like they did in '86.
Yeah, it used to be when they first started doing it. It was sort of like their guests, wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
It first started in '86.
Well,
and then 2008 was when it was like you won a place to do it, didn't you? Yeah, I don't think they'll do that. I think it'll be guests, and if they do it, yeah.
I just think, look, and please disagree with me if you will. This is the whole point of discussing this, is they've got so many deep cuts and epics from Sanjutsu to cover, plus rehearse a few from Somewhere in Time that they haven't played in years.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be convenient and easy just to play Wasted Years, just to play Heaven Can Wait off the bat? I mean, they're not hard.
It is, and it would be, but I'm hoping. As I said, personally, I'm being selfish. I'm hoping they don't and play the deep cuts.
We all are. I don't want
to. I like Wasted Years. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I'd rather hear Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner than once, or 3 times, I'm going 3 shows, than hear Wasted Years again for the 50th time. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But as I said, that's me being selfish. That's what I want to hear.
Absolutely.
But if they don't do it, it's,
Absolutely. So the Satellite 664 opinion is Caught Somewhere in Time, Alexander the Great, Stranger in Strange Land. They're the certainties. We think Loneliness, possibly. Right, and who knows? They might. I personally reckon they'll take the easy way out and play one of them, because they've got their hands full with what we're going to talk about next, and that is Sanjutsu.
But they'll probably go completely left of centre and play Deja Vu, but no one's. You know it. We've all predicted this stuff, and they go, "No, sod them not. We're going to play Deja Vu." Yeah.
What's that famous saying that our dear friend, the lovely Plina, says all the time, and that is, if it's Iron Maiden, it never makes sense.
Exactly.
So true. Very true.
So Sanjutsu. Now, look, I personally think last year's tour was a quasi Sanjutsu tour anyway. I mean, the first three songs of the album So, I think they're obviously they've promised us some, epics off the album. So, now out of the 3 that were played last year, do we think they're going to repeat any of them at all?
I don't. No.
I think one.
Which one? Writing on the Wall. Writing on the Wall. Writing on the Wall.
I don't. So no.
I hope you're right, Paul.
I've got Days of Future Past. The Time Machine. But that's me again being selfish, because I know you don't like it.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Hell on Earth.
Yes.
The Parchment.
Yes.
I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I picked 4. Oh, there you go. So there's got to be one more. Definitely Celts. I'm just going to throw that one in.
Do you actually think they'll do 3 10-minute plus tracks off the one album?
No, but it's the only one I could think of. I could throw in there quickly.
No, and this is where I agree with Rory. I think they'll do Writing on the Wall. It's a hit. It's a single. It right throughout the tour last year, it got a really good crowd response.
It did, yeah. It was excellent when I saw it. Yeah,
and it's a good song. It's actually a really good song.
It is a very good song. Yeah.
So I think, I certainly think Look, they know that the fan base loves Hell on Earth. They know that, and I think they posted it on their Instagram site, some time ago. Because we get an idea that everybody loves this, so I think that will happen. I desperately want to hear Parchment, and I hope Parchment happens, because I think it's one of the best Maiden songs of the last 30 years. Days of Future Past is an interesting discussion. The tour is called the Days of Future Past. Does that necessarily guarantee a song in the set list?
No, it doesn't. But I think it's more of an upbeat rocker. So it's more of that. It's that sort of 4 or 5 minute upbeat rocker that you could take something like The Trooper out and put that in its place. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you. Look, it is a short...
And then I've just looked at my set list and I've got The Trooper in there as well, so I'm talking shite as usual,
No, I agree with you. I think. Look, it is a 4 minute. Is it 4 minutes 49? It's the shortest song on the album. It really has a good groove to it. So it's an Adrian song. It's got a really nice groove to it. It's fast. It flows well. It's almost, for me, synonymous to Death or Glory on Book of Souls. I mean, they're not. Yeah. They don't sound this. I'm just saying they're both shorter songs. They're faster songs, and probably a nice one, a good crowd pleaser as well. So probably those 3. Time Machine's an interesting one. I could definitely see them doing it. I really could.
Yeah, I know you or not. Yeah.
Look, it's
you don't really like it that much. I'm not saying you hate it, but I do. I think it's a great song. I really do like that. Yeah.
I like the middle section. From the middle section where it really picks up, I think it's a nice one. And yes, I agree with you. I think that might be played, and I think Writing on the Wall for sure. Okay. Yeah. I don't believe they'll do Sanjutsu. My personal opinion from my observations of seeing them last year in Athens, I thought Sanjutsu as an opener was a fail. I don't think the crowd.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a failure live. I think it as an opening track.
As an opening track.
I've seen
the only time it worked for me was Sophia indoors.
Sorry?
It had to be indoors. The only time it worked for me was Sophia, because it was an indoor show and the lights went down. The stage really stood out. When we saw it in Athens, for example, or Warsaw, or Wiener Neustadt, the sun was blazing. It was a more casual crowd, a bigger audience. It just didn't work. But when it was a more intimate venue, indoors, where they could throw the light show, I just think it was a great opener. Outdoors, it just fell flat for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People were moaning, weren't they? They're saying that it didn't sort of set a tempo for the rest of the show. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But if you look at Iron Maiden, they'll always come guns blazing. They will hit you in the face with the opening track, and it didn't do that. It was so slow, and they just walked on stage. Let's jam. And it was like, that's not a start for an Iron Maiden gig. Sorry to say,
No,
but
I
it
agree
worked for
with
me.
you, Erasmus, but I think, if they'd have put it in the middle of the set,
exactly.
It would have worked better as
exactly
the way it went. It sounded great live.
It did.
But I have to put it in with the whole stage setup, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
So,
I agree. Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's a majestic song, and I actually love the song.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song too. But like Rory was saying, I mean, we saw them in Athens. It was a hot day. The sun was out in this huge stadium with, I think, 45,000 people. You know, they played Doctor Doctor. The crowd really got going. A few flares got lit, and then the tempo just went right down. And yes, it sounded live. I mean, anything these guys play sound good live, but it just didn't work as an opening track. I think it's synonymous to, say, The Book of Souls, which was mid-set, and that would have worked really nicely.
Yeah, I think so.
But to go to, particularly a non-English speaking sort of country that hasn't seen you in 4 years, and you open with a slow 9-minute song, no, I don't think they'll do that again. So,
no.
Raz, your pick for Sanjutsu?
Of course, Riding on the Walls. Then they have to play that. I really don't know. I think it can go in every direction with this. But like you said, the long tracks were actually the best tracks on the album. They cannot play them all. So I hope for hell, but yeah.
I think that'll be fun. Look, remember they said that initially they wanted to play this album in its entirety, and there was a few people in the fan base going, oh, they weren't really sure about it. So I think they were treading the waters there. I think this is their way of doing it. They've played.
But they talked about a small tour in the UK, right?
Oh, they did, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think they played three songs last year. This could be their chance to cover the vast majority.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But sometimes it doesn't matter what they play. You know, people are going to moan, don't they?
Of course.
People moan about. They still do about the Matter of Life and Death tour. Well, I thought that was great when they played that whole album and all that. Brilliant.
Sure.
But people were like, but it don't matter, does it? It doesn't matter what they do.
Well, they could play people's favorite track 15 times, and then people will complain they played too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maiden forums. Nobody ever complains on the Maiden forums, you know. So.
Of course they don't, Rory. No,
because you get banned if you complain. That's the problem.
I have a theory
only if you got my bank account number for Raz, you won't get banned. So.
Well, I try to behave. So. I actually saw TP remove one of my posts. But then again, I posted something I was not allowed to, so it's okay.
Dangerous territory here, we're going. I have a theory that...
I'm staying silent about it. Yeah.
It's okay. I think, you have to have people looking over the shoulder of all the fans, otherwise it would be one big mess. It's...
Rory, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think a theme. I think one of the reasons why it's likely they're going to play songs like Loneliness and Long Distance Runner, Stranger in a Strange Land, and Alexander the Great is a tempo. That we're looking at the age of the band, we're looking at Nico, and I just think like Stranger is a perfect song to bring the tempo down a little bit for him. Alexander the Great as well, the tempo is a bit lower, and for that reason, this is going to be controversial. I think they might play Darkest Hour on the tour.
Ooh, right.
And I've said this to one of my friends, and she said, no, like, that's not going to be a fan favorite. And my argument is, like, most of these gigs are sold out already. They don't need to sell tickets. They can play whatever they want. And I think Darkest Hour is a great song. I really enjoy it. Some great solo. And like I said, it would just bring the tempo down a little bit in the middle of the set, like Blood Brothers does, you know, and just give Nico a little bit of a break. And I think it's a great song. I don't see why they wouldn't play it. And like I said, the tickets are sold. They can play whatever they want. And again, with the long songs, Steve said in the statement, you know, it gives us a chance to play some of the more epic tracks, plural.
Deeper cuts,
And if you look at the epic tracks, I always see the last three songs, Death of the Celts, Parchment, Hell on Earth, as like a trilogy. And I just think, I wonder, could that be something that will happen? That I definitely think they'll play Hell on Earth for sure. I think The Parchment is my favorite song on the album.
Love that.
I hope they play it. It's a great song. And I just think you add Death of the Celts, you make this trilogy maybe towards the end of the main set before the encore. And I think that could work really well. So I definitely think they play Writing on the Wall. It's a fan favorite. It's a single. Everyone enjoyed it last year. I think Days of Future Past could be the second song of the set to set up.
That's what I've got. I've got that second song.
Yeah. I just think Caught Somewhere in Time, and then Future Past sets the tone. This is what we're doing tonight.
Fantastic.
We got it Somewhere in Time. We got our new album. We're going to blend them together, and we're going to go off on an adventure. And then, like I said, Darkest Hour, I think, to bring the tempo down a little bit. And it could be an anthem. It could be a great live song.
Yeah.
Like Coming Home was in 2011. Coming Home was a low tempo one too, but it was one of the best songs on the tour. And then the three, like Steve said, plural epic songs. I think maybe a trilogy: Death of the Celts, The Parchment, Hell on Earth, perhaps.
Darkest Hour is a beautiful song. It's actually one of my favourites on the album as well. And it kind of reminds me of Bruce, the way he sings, the emotion that he sings that song with. Kind of reminds me of, I think I've told you this before, Paul, it reminds me of Wasting Love, where he just puts so much I know you don't like that song, but I'm just saying, no, I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm just saying the same.
That was my toilet break song on that tour, yeah.
Well, it's the same level of anguish and emotion that he put into that song. I can see it in Darkest Hour as well.
No, I understand. He's grown on me. That it wasn't one of my favourites, that song, but it has grown on me in the last 6 to 8 months. I've been listening to it. But going back to what Rory said, so I agree with you with the last 3 songs. So if we're looking at them putting those songs in, you're looking at Fear of the Dark, Hallowed Be Thy Name being taken out of the list.
Why?
Because they're not going to play Fear of the Dark or Hallowed Be Thy Name if they're playing those 3, are they?
They cannot take out Fear of the Dark.
They can.
I wish they would do it, but it's such a crowd pleaser. So
look, you've got.
Yeah, no. I understand that. And I understand what Rory was saying earlier about, the gigs are sold out. I think if they published the set list and then the tickets went on sale, they'd still sell out, no matter what was on the set list. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at my set list that I've written here, and I've got Total Eclipse in there as well.
Wow, that's a random one.
What? There's something wrong with this. Did you say Total Eclipse?
Yeah. There you go.
That's very random.
You're just trying to advertise the execution now. You're just trying to put sale to features.
I'm still waiting for mine to turn up. I haven't turned up yet. Because the thing about it last year, and the new T-shirt for the fan club, I just don't know. And I'm going to put another spanner in the works here. If we go in Future Past tour, are they going to play anything from the X Factor, Virtual 11?
That's exactly what I want to say, especially given Blaze's recent health issues. And that Maiden came out and they were very gracious towards Blaze, the one, supporting him. For real. It's a song they played in 1999, didn't they?
Exactly. Future.
Been playing Blaze songs on recent tours, or Blaze era songs on recent tours. Future Real is less than 3 minutes long. It has the word future in the title, which was fit in. I just think that I think Maiden have been extremely respectful to the Blaze era in recent tours, showcasing some of the best songs from that era, and particularly given his recent, health issues, and obviously he's on the road to recovery, thankfully. I wonder the same thing myself. I think there will be something from the Blaze era.
Even like a Man on the Edge as well from the X Factor, a nice rocky up tempo, in your face.
Sort of like
yeah, they've done that. I know they've done Man on the Edge and Future Real on the Headhunter tour, but I think those two would work better in that set list than Lord of the Flies, if you know what I mean. I like Lord of the Flies, good song, very good song, but yeah, it's just something we haven't touched on at all. We're looking strictly at Sanjutsu and of course on Somewhere in Time album, but like I said, they might throw a spanner in the works and go, right, we're going to play these two or these two. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a future past tour. It's a history tour.
Yeah. I sincerely hope they do. My only issue here is we've got an hour 40 to work with. Okay, they're going to come on roughly at 9 o'clock or whatever they come on, and they usually play for about 100 minutes. Now, if they do the trilogy as we spoke about, it's really going to compromise their time. I actually don't think
that's only half hour, isn't it?
Yeah, well then you've got an hour. Then you got an hour for pretty much 3/4 of Summer in Time.
Nico do the counting faster.
Look. Unfortunately, though,
and they're all 8 minutes.
Speed metal,
Megadeth. Look, unfortunately, they're going to have to play those 3 or 4 staple, overplayed, really overplayed classics for the crowd. So, a Beast, Trooper, which is to me these days is more of an advertisement.
Evil that men do.
Yeah, Fear of the Dark.
Yeah, but as much as we love hearing those songs,
I don't.
To me, well, I know what you're saying, but there's people out there that do, don't they? They do. And to me, like I said earlier, I'm being selfish. Put them on the back burner and play something else.
Yeah. You don't.
But that's all. We all want that. We're all selfish that way, aren't we?
You don't need to play Number of the Beast every single show. You don't. You don't need to play Trooper every single show. People are still going to buy the beer. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah, but you also have to look at the whole stage setup, how they run the show, and they have like the Walking Trooper. That's a crowd pleaser too.
Yeah.
People know the song, can sing along. It's a great track. It's short. So it's easy. It's an easy filler. The same with Beast.
A walk on Trooper Eddie.
Yeah, so that's the next thing I wanted to bring into the discussion. What do we think is going to be the walk on Eddie? What do we think is going to be the big Eddie?
Have you looked at the artwork for the tour poster?
Yes.
It could be epic to have 2 walking Eddies on stage at the same time. Sanjutsu and Trooper.
I can't see a Trooper one. I can see a Somewhere in Time Eddie.
Well, they've already done that though.
Yeah, but if they do the big Somewhere in Time Eddie, they don't need to have a walking Somewhere in Time Eddie.
No, I think they will.
I hope they will do like a replica of the old one. Yeah.
I think they'll have the walk
Nico
on
up there with
time.
his drums.
No, I think that'd be a Sanjutsu one. To be honest, I think the walk-on one will be a Sanjutsu and Somewhere in Time.
So 2 of them.
And I think the big one at the end will be a Sanjutsu one.
I definitely agree. I definitely think the one at the end will be the Sanjutsu one. Yeah, I'm convinced.
I don't think they'll do what they did.
I say Somewhere in Time.
The big inflatable one. Yeah. Nearly took
It would be the mixed one.
Half of each. That was funny because we got the Big Eddie at Hammersmith 86, but we didn't get the Big Eddie on the World Slavery Tour because it was too small, the venue, to put the Big Eddie in.
Yeah, although the Slavery Tour, they were using the 2 sets, wasn't it? Stage A, Stage B, and Stage A was the big American shows. Stage B was the smaller ones, So I mean, Australia.
That's what we got.
The show that we got here was Stage B because it wasn't. I think you had the Anubis dogs, you had the 2 sarcophaguses, you had the little sort of hieroglyphs, and that was it really. I think you had the curtains with the obelisk, but you didn't have the big mummy at the end.
Do we also think that the stage set's going to be a mixture of 2? Because I don't think they're going to do what they did last year, last year, on the Legacy of the Beast.
Or with the 4 different stages.
Yeah, it's going to be a mixture of both, isn't it? It's got to be. They can't keep changing it. Because the changeover last year was a bit dodgy as well. It took ages, didn't it?
Yeah, it does.
the first 3 songs.
Then
they changed the set. It took a good 2 or 3 minutes for them to change the set, and it was just this, what's going on?
Exactly what I was going to say. That changeover took a few minutes, and it stalled the momentum of the show. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a mixture of both, isn't it? The backdrops always change anyway, don't they, for whatever song it is. But the main stage, the main stage set itself, the way it looks, I think will be a mixture of Sanjutsu and Somewhere in Time, I think, yeah.
So what, merge the futuristic city with ancient Japan?
I think so, yeah. So I don't think they'll do like a load from one and then change it into a load from 2 and then some other cuts encore. I think it'll be a mixture of both, I think. Yeah.
It's a really unique, it's a very unique tour because it's going to be a very unique stage set because it really is a fusion, isn't it, of 2 totally different eras.
Yeah.
37 years ago to last year, the year before, and to kind of make a hybrid stage set's going to be something they've never done before. I mean, usually the set lists have been very homogenized, haven't they? Your Book of Souls, you had the Mayan, the whole state for the whole 2 hours. It was the Mayan temple and so forth. So I think I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And seeing what they do and how they do it.
Well, the 2 guys sitting there at the first show can send us loads of photos, can't they?
Hey, Paul, I probably turned up late to that show, so I'll probably ride around first.
I was going to say, I think Rory gets in halfway through the show, yeah.
My problem is, when my hand's up like this, I cannot hold a phone and take pictures.
You can wear one of those GoPros on your head, Razzle.
Yeah. That's the thing. But all you will see is this.
Just see the floor,
yeah. One thing, aside from the set list, which we'll obviously discover on the 28th of May, one thing which has been really kind of absent from all of the build-up is merch. There's not been one. I wish there would just be one Future Past shirt in the shop, but there's been nothing. Again, maybe that's because all the tickets have been sold. You don't need to create hype. But again, because the tour's coming up in less than a month, or a month exactly, I would expect some kind of build-up, But we're not getting that. We're getting new beer or whatever. Stamps. I'm nothing against stamps.
Don't sound disappointed.
But it would just be nice to have a future pass design maybe in the shop or something. But maybe it's going to be 28th of May when we see the first merch, perhaps.
Again, I have to say, if we have to compare how many T-shirts Maiden have done and how many beers, we are still behind with the beer.
You sound disappointed, Bryce.
No, I'm never disappointed. Look around, I cannot be disappointed. I just love when I come new stuff out. So,
I think, look, the Sanjutsu shirts that were on sale last year, I think a lot of those will be. Do we think they'll be repeated, just with different dates on the back?
I think the 2 Minutes to Midnight shirt last year was kind of weird. The one that you wanted, Paul, I hope you got one in the end. Because they obviously weren't playing 2 Minutes to Midnight, but they were selling it 2 minutes.
Something wrong down here.
Yeah, Paul's frozen.
Yeah.
He's sitting very still. Are you okay, Paul?
He's completely frozen.
You there?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, my camera's frozen, but
yeah.
Make sure
that. No, the T-shirt, the one that Rory failed to get me about 3 times last year. I got it in the end. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I think someone on the forum messaged Alex, and he said coming soon. Yeah. So I think there will be a pre-order of some shirts like they did last year. But I can't see that. I think I checked being a prat. I checked my music glue order from last year. I think I ordered mine 2 days before the tour started. So yeah, you're probably looking at a week or a couple of days before the tour starts before they put anything in the shop.
All right.
But so, I honestly don't know. I don't know.
So we've seen the Sanjutsu designs from last year. Do we think...
I think they'll be different this year.
Oh, good. But how different can they do the artwork other than maybe using the tour poster artwork? But
I think they'll use that kind of thing. Yeah, I think they'll use that kind of. That'll be a generic shirt.
You can guarantee that will be a shirt.
And then there'll be others to go with the whatever country or event shirt. There'll be generic tour shirts, won't there, with all the states and everything. There'll probably be the odd event shirt for London. Probably get one. UK and Ireland might get one.
Germany, for sure.
Germany usually do. So, yeah. I think they will. Yeah.
My question to
maybe some of the double date gigs because lots of people to buy shirts there. So.
I can tell you one place that won't get an event shirt: Denmark.
Because we will print our own.
That's interesting though. The places Maiden are not playing this year. You know, Denmark is a big gap in the tour. Portugal is a really interesting one. Like, I think it's 1992 perhaps was the last time they didn't play Portugal on the tour. 93 maybe. But that's a pretty big omission, and they're doing 3 gigs in neighbouring Spain. So
it had to fit in, and I know there were strong rumours for them to play in Denmark, so they actually tried to fit it in, but at some point it didn't work. And strong rumours that they would not play Copenhagen, actually. They will play in Jutland, so it will be easy for them to travel to Norway or the other way around.
And why aren't they playing Stockholm or Gothenburg, but they're playing Sweden Rock Festival? That's a real surprise to me.
And how about no Paris? Nothing like this, you know?
No Paris.
Does this lend back to what we were talking about earlier, that we think they might do some more European shows next year or the year after?
Yeah.
Do we think that it's going to be a 2-leg tour this year and next year?
Yeah.
And in between, they're going to do another studio album, and they're going to come back with another tour in 2025.
As much as I'd love to see them play in Europe 2024, I don't think they'll be able to fit it in because 2024.
we know what you're hoping for. It is time for me to go east.
Oh no! I think United States and Canada is going to be a big part of 2024. The question is, our summer down here in January, February, will we get an arena show, including New Zealand and including Japan? Because they haven't been able to...
How is it with the weather in Japan when you have summer?
Winter.
Winter. Then it's winter in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Because they did that in 2008.
Yeah. And Rasmus, the interesting thing is, I suppose we've spoken about this before, Japan hasn't been played because they have to fly over Russian airspace to freight their stuff over. So will they have to come from the US and go to Japan and then down? Or will they go Dubai, Singapore, maybe, who knows, India, and then down to Australia? Yeah, these are the interesting questions. Because it's a complex geopolitical situation at the moment and a volatile one at that. So Japan, one of their biggest markets since day one, hasn't had a tour in a long time.
It's true.
Yeah. Paul's gone again. Oh, here he is.
And then we have like the cancelled gigs from previous tour, right?
Yeah.
So there are some countries they still want and need to play in, right? And of course the rumors about Thailand and Hong Kong and stuff like that. Right? So,
and I think it's the logistics as well, with inflation and things like that. Just the cost of bringing this stuff down, because let's face it, Australia is a B market at best. Okay, so I think the only way they could do it is from the west coast of US, freight the stuff to Japan, then down. Who knows? But
Australia will be played again.
It has to.
What tour? I don't know, but it will be.
It will be played again.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how and why I know that, but
it's okay.
Not on record or camera. I'll tell you afterwards.
It's okay. Well, you and I'll have a secret messenger chat.
When people see this, you will get 1,000 post mails, and everyone will be like, tell me inside.
That might be the reason why I said it, Rasmus. You don't know.
Clickbait.
Rory.
I've wondered before, because Rasmus alluded to it there. Japan has had a tough. Well, actually, he said it first, Kaz. Japan has been a major part of the Maiden story since 1981, I guess. really loyal market. It had a tough time with COVID, of course. Maybe not being able to visit there a couple of years. 2011 with the tsunami, of course, Japan missed out there. And then I just wondered, when Maiden arrived with a Japanese-themed album, was this like paying some kind of homage to Japan, to the fans, that they missed out on a couple of tours, they've been loyal from day one, but maybe to make things up a little bit, we're going to give you your own album. In some regards, like I just think there was some. No, I think when they came with Sanjutsu, a random out of nowhere Japanese named album, with a samurai in the front, I always felt like this was a nod to Japan and to the fans over there. Perhaps that could be.
Yeah, could be. Yeah,
very much so. It would be. Yeah, look, it would be really unusual to have a Japanese themed album and not play.
Everybody said, well, they have to play Sanjutsu in Japan. And we go, yeah, but they didn't play somewhere back in time in Egypt, right? So.
Oh, you mean Power Slave World Slavery Tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the first time they didn't play that, but we thought maybe in 2008, 2009. But of course they didn't play because they don't sell any records in Egypt. So.
Can you seriously imagine if they played in the whole Giza Pyramid complex?
I've recently been down there. They actually have a place down at the Sphinx where actually can do gigs. So, but it will only be traveling fans who attended it, because they don't sell records in Egypt.
No.
So,
I mean, years ago they did that opera, that musical Aida in Egypt with that backdrop, I think. So. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, but I think they don't sell records there, therefore they won't go there. But you would hope that next year, sort of between February and May 2024, you would get Japan. It would be a shame not to play Japan. I'm not really fussed about them coming here. I just don't think we are in Australia. We're a big enough market, but Japan really.
That's why we travel to New Zealand to see them play.
Oh, that country, huh?
The neighbours.
Right?
The neighbours. Just like myself and Paul, they're neighbours.
Neighbours.
But look at me, I live in Denmark. We are like a parking lot on the way from the big Sweden to the big Germany. Oh, let's play in Denmark, because we have to stop over anyway to sleep. So that's why we get a lot of main gigs. Not because we sell any records.
It's nice that they're coming here, though, to Ireland. They haven't been here since 2017, I think it was, Book of Souls tour.
That's right.
In Dublin, and they played Belfast twice since, but they haven't been down here, so it's great that it's an indoor show. And Maiden didn't play here on the original Somewhere in Time tour. First time they came here was 1990 on the No Prayer tour, the Intercity Express tour. So this will be the first time Ireland gets any Somewhere in Time song, whether it be Wasted Years or Heaven Can Wait or Alexander the Great. So it's really nice that they're coming here for this one.
Rory, in Ireland, does Bruce wave the Union Jack?
Yeah. So the first time I saw Maiden,
he didn't.
In 2003 in Dublin, he waved it, and there were a lot of problems. There was a lot of booing, people throwing beer.
Wow.
In the 80s, somebody spat at him when he did it, and he threatened to walk off stage. So they played here in 1990. They played again on the Fear of the Dark tour. People were spitting at him because of the flag. He threatened to walk off stage. 2005, on the Early Days tour, they played here. He didn't wave the flag, I remember, but he made a speech. So if you listen to the bootleg of Dublin 2005, he makes a speech about the song, about the flag. He's explaining this has nothing to do with Ireland. It's the Crimea. We're singing a song about the Carriage of Light Brigade. 2006, Amalad, I don't think they played the Trooper, did they?
No. I think they did, no.
The next time was 2010. That would have been the Final Frontier, the time they did the 2000 era song. But the most recent time was 2017, and he waved the flag, and there was no problem whatsoever. The transformation from 2003, where it was a big problem, to 2016, where he waved it. And I remember my friend, who you all know, Swiss Alex Fontanini, was next to me, and he said all the times he's seen Maiden playing Ireland, this was the best reception he ever saw for the Trooper. That people have grown up a little bit. They don't. They understand why Maiden are using the flag, and it's nothing political. It's about a song about something that happened in the Crimea in the early 1900s. So yeah, they do use it.
And I think it's the same thing in